So what?
Somebody thought you were looking tired yesterday. It's the end of the day when we did the video, so anyway, it's all good.
Probably
the big
was.
news of today. The big news of today was we had a bear running up and down the roads.
Oh yeah. That's something.
You know?
You know, the road supervisor stopped by and showed us photos that people had sent him of this bear up a tree.
It was his grandkids. It was up his tree.
Yeah.
So
There are bear around here, but it's very rare that a bear comes to town. You know, rare bear.
a rare bear
Yeah.
instead of a rare bird. Anyway, so yeah, we had some action, bear action. Apparently, didn't know anything about it. So
A lot of fun, you know, living in a small town.
yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's really easy. You know, all the streets are lined with
Pecan.
massive, beautiful pecan trees on both sides,
Yeah.
all the way from one end to the other and up to the main street from one end to the other.
Yeah, it's
You
great.
got these big old houses up on it. It's
Big
really,
trees and you know, beautiful streets. You know?
Yeah, everything. Pretty amazing.
So, couple of questions for you. During the Johnny Cash show, which was so great, it must have been fun to have been able to play
that
that.
was great. That was
And
great
I'm
fun.
sure you guys were all ready to do it. But yeah, Eric does look noticeably nervous, and I think that he was just intimidated a little bit.
It's exactly what it was. He was intimidated. They made him nervous. I mean, he was standing between Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash, you know.
Carl Perkins was letting him know it, wasn't
Oh, I mean, Perkins put fire under it. I mean, he didn't miss a lick, you know, and it kind of shook Eric a little bit. Eric got a stinger in there, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all noticed that you know he was intimidated by them,
Yeah.
you know, and rightfully so. You know, I mean, huge country stars and Carl Perkins, he's from Tiptonville, Tennessee. I used to, my dad had a church in Tiptonville, and that's the northwest corner of Tennessee on Reelfoot Lake. And Mom Perkins and Mom and Pa Perkins, she had a house that sat in the middle of a bean field. And I'd go visit them from time to time. I was all of 14 years old, 13, 14, 15. And I'd go sit on their front porch and eat fried pies.
What's a fried pie?
It's shaped like a half moon, and it's fried peach pie, and you know, individual fried peach pie. You see them on the road. But an old man
I've never
Perkins,
seen
old
them.
man Perkins, you've seen them wrapped in them on the road. But old man Perkins, she made them at home, and he walked around. They would tell me about their famous son, Carl, you know.
Right.
And old man Perkins walked around with it. He had a brown hat on and his head was hung down, and he never said a word. I don't recall him ever saying anything or even acknowledging anybody around him, you know. Real introverted. But yeah, that was I knew more about Carl Perkins than Carl knew that I knew.
Well, did they know that you sang?
What?
Did his parents know that you sang and played?
Yeah.
Did they ever hear? Did you ever
Everybody
sing to them?
knew I sang.
Well, did you sing to them on their porch or anything?
No, I don't remember any
And
of that.
why were you hanging out on their porch?
Just, I don't know how I wound up out in the middle of a bean field drinking iced tea and eating a fried pie on Mom and Pa Perkins' porch. But they have that very porch. You know, I was a Baptist preacher's son. You know, I wound up at people's houses for one reason or other all the damn time. Most of the time it was strangers' houses.
Were you living with Carl
No, I don't
Perkins?
know. I didn't live with any. We lived down the road in Tiptonville, and but now they have that house sitting on the railroad track in Tiptonville, Tiptonville, home of Carl Perkins, you know.
Right. Well, that's where you lived as well.
That's what I was saying.
Of course, but I was going to ask you though. Did Carl Perkins know who you were when you got on the when you were on the show?
No, we didn't have any chit chatting or anything. He just came to play, and that's what he did. You know, wasn't any sitting around backstage drinking and talking about the show and none of that. No, when it was over, we were gone. You know, I had right in the very front row of the Ryman Auditorium, I had Granny Whitlock, my daddy's mom, Granny Whitlock, my mama, my sister, Debbie, my Uncle Tommy and Aunt Ginger, and I think they had one of their kids with them, right down in the front row. And when there was two introductions. The first one was Johnny Cash came out, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, from London, England," you know, and as soon as he said "from London, England," I went like that, like I was in school. And this is live. They only had like a few seconds to correct something if there was a mistake. And I went like that right there, and he looked over. He said, "Yeah?" I said, I'm Bobby Whitlock, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and that's my Granny Whitlock, and everybody right down there on the front row. He's the only one from London, you know, from England. And he's from California, and he's from Tulsa. And the whole place was tore down, I'm telling you right now. Johnny Cash had come unglued so you can see when he walks back out. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Whitlock," Bobby Whitlock, Jim Gordon, Carl Raylan, Eric Clapton, Derek and the Dominoes, yeah. And you can see he'd been laughing, you know, because they had to stop and kind of a cut, you know. But that was like an opportunity, and me singing off of Eric like that, feeding back every other, you know, that was the only opportunity I was going to have to step up and to the plate and
he didn't know you were going to be singing all that.
No, not like that, you know. I was dead on it, man. I had my family right there. And yeah, it was an incredible moment in time for me. But I couldn't let that slide by. You know, I would still be answering questions. You know, with the family. But it worked out as it were. You know.
Well, it was a big time, and your dad decided not to
yeah, he elected not to come, so that was fine. I wasn't singing for the Lord, you know.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. And and then all of his friends were going on about Preacher Whitlock, your son, did you see your son last? Well, and my dad had to say, "Yes, we were there," you know. He had to like start living a lie. Unfortunate for him, you know. But that's all right, you know. He didn't support me in my music and what I did from day one when I started singing outside of the church, you know. And I was singing, you know, "Swing down some chair, stop and let me ride. Oh, swing down some chair, stop and let me ride. Lord, rock me, Lord, calm and easy. I got a home on the other side." I mean, I was singing soul music in a white church, you know, and but that's about as far as I was going to go with it. He wanted me to sing like, "Oh, la, la, la," you know, all that George Bernard Shaw bullshit. I mean, "Oh, see my soul." Excuse me.
Uh-oh. So, Eric was intimidated.
Yeah. And
did he get over it?
It caused him to stumble and make him messed up. you know, and right there next to one of his heroes, you know.
Yeah.
But Carl was
Anybody
burning. He was scorching.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did Matchbox and I forget what else.
And you carried on after the show was over as well.
Yeah, and they let all the country folk out except for my family, and all the rock and rollers piled in, and so we played some more songs. Yeah, they were lying like knee deep all the way around.
And that's where you got your guitar dressed up there, your acoustic.
Yeah. Randy Woods did it. Yeah, my Martin. That's another involved story. Saga. We'll cover that one of these days.
All right.
Yeah, it's too involved, you know. One thing I don't want to do, I've had stuff stolen from me all of my life, you know. And one thing I don't want to do is put somebody in jail, you know, jeopardize somebody. They already made a mistake. They already stole. They already sold it. The money is gone. The instrument is gone. It wouldn't do anybody any good to put somebody in prison over a guitar. I just won't do it, you know. I've had cars taken, just more stuff than you can possibly imagine. But I'm not going to be held accountable for someone else's mistaken judgment, you know. And
Well, that's the reason why we haven't talked about it.
huh?
This is the reason why we haven't spoken about it.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to have to put a finger on somebody that everybody already knows who it is. You know, I'm just not going to do it. You know, I'm not going to. Aunt Cammy said, finger him out. You know, he's the one that done it. You know? I have to read some of my mom's manuscripts some of these days. I've been kind of going over it a little bit. So there's some really funny stuff. I mean, I take after my mom. I'm just like her in many, many ways. Even the structure of bone and face. But yeah, one of these days I'll do that. But you know, back to sometimes you don't need to even say things if it's going to hurt somebody's today. You know, we all made mistakes in the past, and Lord knows I've got train loads of them. You know, anybody that's lived as long as I have that probably does have a train load of mistakes and errors.
Well, you only have today.
You know,
so you can forget about that.
That's it. All we have is right now. We can't carry that baggage. See, I thought that was my job, was to carry that baggage all of my life. No, it's just excess baggage. I had to dump all that shit and everything and everyone that went with it. You know, as it turns out, we have a very small roster of friends. You can count them on one hand. You know, and that's the way it should be. You know, I have lots of associates, lots of people I know, and on a casual basis, you know, but there's only a few very close people, you know. I hadn't had much luck in that friendship department, you know, I just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just gotta forgive, forget, and let it go, you know. Forgive it, forgive them, because if you don't, you're gonna carry that around, you're gonna carry that heavy thing with you, and you know, we're not really supposed to be carrying a bunch of baggage around. No, cut it loose, man. You know, that's what I did. You know, I'm right now, this is the important time in my life, is this very moment. This exact moment is the most important moment in my life right now. You know, and that's all I have, is this one right now, you know. And I'm so fortunate that it's with you. And that little dog getting ready to make noise, and that big one. There you go. Tell us about it.
Say it, sister.
All right.